folks, Rick Whittemore here. Time for your market update. I wanted to kind of bring you up to speed on what's going on in the market. First of all, today is September 21st. The Fed just met today. They raised interest rates by 0.75 basis points again. They've been doing that pretty regularly the last every other month or so. I believe they meet again in December, so we'll see what they do in December. So we'll talk about interest rates here in a second. Just wanted to bring up speed real quick on what is going on with the data in the Austin area. All right, here we have days on market. You can see days on market in the last 12 months has certainly jumped up in September. So we're looking at just about 33, 34 days on the market for most properties is the average that we're having in the Austin area right now. When it comes to average price sold for homes in the Austin area, right now we're really not looking at a big drop in the average price. It's more of a seasonal adjustment is what's going on here. So as you can see, in the last 12 months, we're certainly higher than we were up until, about January of this year. So prices are still nice and stable, no big fire sales going on, just stable prices, which is good. We like that. All right, you may be hearing in the news there's like a lot of homes on the market, which there are, and that is great news for sellers because we're certainly seeing more homes on the market right now than we've seen in the last couple of years, really. So as you can see here, August, fairly strong with over 4,000 homes on the market. September, less folks are listing their homes, but we're still seeing homes coming on the market there. Right now, there's about a little over 8,000 homes on the market in the Austin area. So that's a really good number of homes to choose from for buyers. So that's great news for buyers again. Last slide I want to kind of take a quick look at here is the number of sales. So this is the number of sales each month. So I pulled 2 years here so we can really kind of compare August and September's to August and September's of the last couple of years past too. So you can kind of see where home sales have been. Home sales are definitely lower than they were this time last August and September, but not really significant. You can see the seasonal drops kind of in the January, February's, December's kind of in there. Those are definitely lower months in terms of home sales, and we're not even at that yet. I do think we're going to see sales kind of really be soft. Probably for the rest of the year. We may see a little bit of a spike in sales in the next couple of months right before the holidays. Then I think we'll see kind of a little more than the normal slowdown during the holidays this year just because of interest rates. I get questions all the time, what is going on in the real estate market? Besides the data that we've looked at, really the driver of that for the most part is interest rates. Interest rates have doubled just about in the past 6 months since January. They've really jumped up quite a bit. So that's one, people's buying power is lower. You can buy less of a home now. And folks are really used to the low interest rates. So they're just kind of like, you know what, I'm going to wait. One of the things I would keep in mind with the I'm going to wait, hopefully rates will go down. Will rates be where they were last year, the year before, earlier this year, in the future? Man, I kind of doubt it because our government really propped up the rates and they were kind of artificial rates for many, many years. I think the government's kind of learned their lesson. That's probably not going to be happening in the future. So we need to get used to a new normal. Hopefully the new normal will settle in the 4 and 5s. Would be a great place for interest rates to settle. That'll allow more people to come in and buy homes. Another thing that's really kind of driving what's going on a little bit is just kind of panic. If you look at the news, if you read papers, online articles, all this kind of stuff, people are kind of freaking out going, we're in a bubble. We're really not in a bubble. The bubble was caused back in the mid-2000s. That was by poor loans. Lenders are doing much better loans now. People are incredibly well qualified when they're buying homes, and there's more equity in homes now than there ever has been in the history. So that's a really good sign for the stability of home ownership. One of the other drivers that's kind of slowing things down right now is reports that are in print, news, on TV, internet. The market's going to crash. All these things are happening. I read an article yesterday that said Austin is the second most overvalued housing market in the country. A lot of these things are all put together by random people who just want to get their name out, who want to become famous for a little bit, have a YouTube video, whatever. The research on this did not include any stats regarding jobs, growth, who's coming to Austin, what's going on in Austin. So I always keep in mind in Austin, more and more companies are still continuing to move here. Even today, companies are still expanding. Downtown's exploding. More and more high-rises are going up. More and more semiconductor companies are planning on moving in. There's 5 that are in the process of either building or getting permits to build semiconductors in the greater Austin area. That's all really great signs. And I always tell folks too, the reason I moved to Texas and to Austin was for specifically this reason. If and when we get in a recession, and recessions come, they always do, and they'll always go away. But when we get in these tough times, Texas is usually the last one to be hit and the first one to come out. And Austin is probably in the best shape of all the cities in Texas. So I think that really puts us in good position. So when I have people asking me like, should I buy now? Really depends on your situation. I think right now is a really solid time for VA buyers, people with an FHA loan. If you're looking to rent out your current home and you want to buy a new home and start that investment portfolio, it's also a great time to do that. So a few other things that can be done to kind of help when you're buying a home is buying down a rate. So you can buy your interest rate down a little bit. And lots of times we have folks who are asking the sellers or a builder for a pretty significant credit to help pay for that rate buy down. That's another great tool that we have. If you're a seller, real quick tip there. I mean, it's when you need to sell, you need to sell. And if now's the time, now's not a bad time. There's still people buying. There's probably 800 people a week that go under contract on a home in the Austin area. But your home should be in pristine condition. You want it to show amazingly. And it's super critical that you price it right where the market is today. From your friends that sold 6 months ago, 9 months ago, 100,000, 150,000 over asking, all of that, those days are gone. Prices are still great. You're still going to make a ton of money from what you paid for the home, but you need to price it accurately because you want it to move as quickly as possible. So anyway, if you have questions about the market or buying or selling, feel free to reach out. I would love to chat. Thanks.